Hi, Beth and Jess here for Wine and Define. Today we're going to talk about acronyms. Oftentimes people, when I'm representing them, will say, I notice all the attorneys using all these acronyms. I don't understand what they are. Can you tell us some of those, Beth?
Yeah, we have a ton of acronyms that are used freely between your attorney, your spouse's attorney, and even the judge. Some of them are CIS, ESP, ISC, MSA, PSA, JOD, FJOD. They all mean documents that are important in a divorce case, and we're going to tell you about those acronyms one by one. We'll start with the CIS, Case Information Statement. Jess,
Okay.
explain the Case Information Statement.
Sure. Case information statement is one of the most important documents you could possibly do in your divorce. It's a comprehensive financial statement which basically summarizes your liabilities and your assets as well as your monthly budget for purposes of need. Sometimes we might have to file different motions, or the judge relies upon these figures to look at basically how much do you earn, anything at all, and again, what is your need for purposes of support if you're asking. We also use this case information statement to settle cases as well, so you would file it with court or you would use it amongst the attorneys and perhaps not file it. PSA and MSA is a document where you, if we're lucky and we've settled your case, PSA stands for Property Settlement Agreement, MSA stands for Marital Settlement Agreement. And that's basically a document that would summarize all of your assets and your liabilities as actually described in your case information statement, CIS, and basically decide, okay, who's going to have custody, what's the equitable distribution of all of those assets and liabilities. And finally, there's two other names, acronyms you might hear, ESP and ISC. Those are proceedings that you would attend during the court process.
Yeah. The first one you'll probably hit in the court process is the ESP. The ESP is the Early Settlement Panel, and you'll be required to attend that if you don't settle your case right off the bat. You'll appear before two well-respected matrimonial attorneys that practice in the county where your case is filed. Your attorneys will present an outline of the case and possible ideas for settlement. It's kind of like a non-binding arbitration. The settlement panel will listen to your attorneys and maybe ask you and your spouse questions and come to a recommendation that you can take or you cannot take. If you're lucky enough to take the recommendation, you might get yourself divorced right after the early settlement panel. More often, you'll move on to economic mediation, which will be with an attorney as a neutral third party, and it won't be in the courthouse, it'll be in the attorney's office.
And how about ISC? What does that stand for?
ISC is the Intensive Settlement Conference. The Intensive Settlement Conference comes before you would be scheduled for a trial and after you've exhausted all of your possibilities in economic mediation. You'll be required to try to settle your case intensively at the courthouse with some participation by the judge in your case, and you'll be required to stay at the courthouse all day for the ISC to try and settle your case.
So call us so we can help you with all of these issues, as I'm sure you're confused. Holding your hand when you need it most, before, during, and after divorce. Dalena Bosch, 973-377-2066.
Thanks.